One of the Rugby League semi-finals was fought out at Headingley. Featherstone kicked off, Workington wearing the darker shirts. Rovers soon found themselves hard-pressed as Workington swung into action with a dangerous movement. Presently, a pass by Gibson sent Southwood over to open the score with an unconverted try. Rovers now fought their way down to the enemy line, and Workington had a really hectic time holding them off. It was touch and go, but Featherstone just couldn't get that try. When they were awarded a penalty, however, Fox, who'd missed several earlier on, did the trick. Only 1 point in it at half-time. But after crossing over, Workington went further ahead with a beautiful try by Paskins. He himself added the 2 points. Workington were now well on top, and they continued to have the best of the game. They made certain of appearing in the final when Gibson touched down between the posts. Paskins converted, so it'll be Workington v Barrow for the cup.
This is Movie Turn. Leslie Mitchell reporting. The crowd of 73,000 at Wembley was composed of Workington and Featherstone supporters come to cheer their teams to victory in the Rugby League Cup final. Mr. Anthony Eden, the Foreign Secretary, was there to beat the teams. On this occasion he was neutral, I imagine. Then Eric Batten and Gus Risman, the veteran captains, met for the toss-up, and Workington, in white shorts, kicked off. Within a few seconds, Featherstone were penalised. The Workington skipper took the kick, and his team were 2 up. Might have seemed an unfortunate start for the Giant Killers, but it was obviously going to be a great match for all that. Presently, Workington's John Lawrenson went away. He was held near the line. But from a play the ball, he kicked ahead and scored. Gus Risman kicked the goal, and Workington was 7 up. But Featherstone Rovers weren't unduly perturbed. Now they began their scoring. Fred Miller opened with a penalty. Not long afterwards, Miller did it again, bringing the score to 4-7. From the kick-off in the second half, Featherstone were determined to wipe out the arrears. This they did within 5 minutes when Eric Batten got a try which was not converted. With the scores level, it was still anybody's cup. Then Workington went ahead again thanks to a great run by John Mudge, who went over like lightning. This try wasn't converted, but Featherstone were 3 points down again, and the battle raged furiously. Now it's Workington again. John Lawrenson's interception sent him off on a 70-yard run, finishing neatly between the posts. This was child's play for Gus Risman, 15-7. Workington hadn't finished yet. They intended to make quite sure of clinching their first Wembley victory. This time it was George Wilson who went over for an unconverted try, 18-7. Featherstone Rovers never gave up, and near the end, Evans forced his way over on the left wing. It was touch and go, but the try was allowed. Altogether a great match, and when Mr. Eden handed over the cup, Gus Risman must have been well satisfied that he'd now fulfilled his promise to win it for the town. Having got it, however, he'd better look out. It seems a bit fragile.
Barrow opened the game in the cup final of the Rugby League. Their opponents, playing right to left, Featherstone Rovers, the club from the West Riding, winning a place at Wembley for the second time in its history. And these men in the hoop jerseys got off to a great start. In the first few minutes, they were given a penalty. Tom Smales put the Rovers 2 points up. Almost at once, Featherstone Rovers were penalised themselves. And for Barrow, Deleuze equalised. Both teams had now shaken off any semblance of Wembley nerves. The game promised to be a final to remember. Barrow increased the pressure, as became a club with a good Wembley tradition. They were rewarded when a good pass found Tom Brophy. No one could stop him. A try for Barrow. Deleuze converted. Barrow 7, Featherstone 2. To be 5 points behind was just the spur the Yorkshireman needed. Second row forward Arnold Morgan scored a try for Rovers. Tom Smales kicked the goal, and at half-time it was Featherstone 9, Barrow 7. The northern invaders of Wembley were enjoying themselves, players and spectators. Featherstone continued to show the form that took them into the final. Rovers dealt Barrow a decisive blow when Vaughan Thomas streaked over for a great try. Child's play for Tom Smales from that position. Match winner Tom Smales scored a try himself. 10 points in arrears. Barrow almost got back into the game when Mike Watson scored a try. Eddie Tees converted, but there was no time for more. Featherstone Rovers were the winners, 17 points to 12. The Queen presented the trophy to Malcolm Dixon, 18 stone 6 of front row forward. Cheers to Featherstone Rovers, cup winners at Wembley for the first time.
Warrington kick off right to left against Featherstone Rovers in the Rugby League Challenge Cup final at Wembley. And from the first whistle, which should surely have been a bell, this replay of the Wars of the Roses is no Battle of Flowers. Penalty to Featherstone taken by Box for a late tackle by Murphy in the second minute of play. 2-0 for Yorkshire. A scrum, and the ball is gathered by Nash. Out to Bell, but he's brought down. Then retribution strikes Murphy, and he's out for the count. Whitehead takes the penalty kick, and it's 2-2. On with the fight. Warrington attack with force. That's Philbin down under. And referee Shepherd finds it hard to keep track of the running battle. Another penalty for Warrington. 2 penalty goals for Warrington, 1 for Featherstone. In fact, it's a blood match, just as it was in days of yore, and one penalty after another, mainly on charges of assault and battery. Penalty for Featherstone. 4-all. From the halfway line, penalty for Warrington, 6-4. He never misses. And again, low but sure, 8-4. The ball to Chisnell. A man would have to be a kamikaze to tackle that. Now Philbin has the ball. To Whittle, but Newlove brings him down. Then Newlove charges for the line, and he's over for the first try of the match. And the score at half-time is Featherstone 9, Warrington 8, after box converted. Second half, and the game opens out. Noonan forces his way almost to the line. Ashcroft picks up the ball and throws himself over for a try. After conversion, Warrington ahead 13-9. Then, after 2 penalties by Whitehead, Murphy kicks a drop goal. Seconds out and come in fighting. Walking Wounded retires from the battle. And another drop goal by Murphy, still gained despite injuries, 21-9. Time for one more try, and Nicholas barges over the line to make the final score 24-9. Warrington's captain Murphy receives the cup from the High Commissioner of Australia, but it was Whitehead, who hardly struck a blow in anger, who won the Player of the Match award. A hard game, but that's what finals are all about.